this tutorial video, we're going to demonstrate how you can apply prepress trapping to your file at the design stage. Now, this would be normally done at a high-end RIP, so you would normally send your file to the RIP and you do your prepress trapping and framing there. Now, framing basically is where you take colour, and for example, if we were to send this to the press now and to print this out, you would end up with the black ending here and then the yellow starting. But if you have any misregistration on your press, you might get a white halo creeping in. So framing basically expands that yellow out fractionally behind the back of that black. So if there is any misregistration, you don't see it. Now, this wouldn't normally happen on a digital press that's printing inline. However, when you are working on a digital press that only has 5 units and you're using a 6-colour job like this would be, then you're going to have to put either the pink or the yellow neon through as a separate pass of the press, and that's when you can see some misregistration. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do it. It's a very simple technique. We're going to pick up the 2 yellow areas to start with. We're going to go to the Object menu, and this is using Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to go to Path, Offset Path. I'm going to offset it by a small amount. So really you need to know what your misregistration tolerances on your press would be. 0.3 millimeters will be pretty suitable for most engines. And I'm just going to click on OK. What that's done is that's expanded out from the other design. So now what we can do is we can go to our attributes window and we'll pop that up on the screen here. So it'll be window menu, attributes, and we're going to put overprint fill. So if it was a stroke, you put overprint stroke, but it's a fill. As you can see now, that yellow is now overprinting that black area. So if we have any misregistrations, we won't see any white halo edges. And we'll do the same thing on the pink. Just zoom in on that one. As you can see, object, path, offset path, click on OK, and then set it to overprint. So there we have it. That's now pre-press framed. It's a great way to be able to just add quick, easy trapping around your design, and therefore any misregistration, you won't see it. We also do recommend that if you are doing this as a 6-colour job, that you might want to pre-separate it beforehand, in which case you might want to put your yellow separation onto a new layer. You can do that manually, or alternatively, what you could also do is use tools like Astute Graphics. They have a great little tool called Separation. Basically, you click on Generate Separations, it will create a new document and it will separate that all out for you. I'm going to switch off my printer marks, so I don't need them because I'm going to have them without the job. And here what I could do is I could delete the yellow separation, leave me with just the CMYK and the pink, save that as one file. I can then undo that and then get rid of all the CMYK plus the pink, leave me just with the neon yellow on its own, and save that, and that's my 2 files. So that was Astute Graphics, and they have these great little tools for doing a lot of design work, and we use them quite frequently for separating layers out. When we're working inside Adobe InDesign, we can do trapping in 2 ways. The normal recommended way to do pre-press trapping for InDesign is to use the built-in trap presets. I'm just going to demonstrate how that would work. However, that really is reliant upon sending a separated PDF down to the RIP or the DFE, which means you need to be able to recombine the separations back at the RIP. So what we're going to focus on today is how to do your trapping manually, so you can take control of the areas that you want to pre-press trap. But let's just quickly show you how the other way that Adobe would tell you to do so, and you can read up about this on the Adobe website or in the user manuals for Adobe InDesign. So what Adobe recommends is you would basically go to the window menu, you go to Output and then to Trap Presets. You would then create a new trap preset by putting in your specification. So please do read upon what all the different things mean, but you basically your trapping width, etc. Once you've created that, you would then apply this to your pages in your document. So you assign that trap preset to specific pages. So you can either do different trapping on different pages, or you can do it all based on every document, every page in the document will be pre-press trapped. And then when you say File and go to Print, what they're wanting you to do here is basically go to the Output tab and go to Separations, and then from the separations you can then apply the application's built-in trapping, which is what we just specified. However, as mentioned, that will separate it out into grayscale separations, which you then need to be able to recombine at the RIP or DFE. So what we're going to show you here is how to do it manually, the way that we would do it. Let's just first of all clear this off and get rid of it. Okay, so we're going to be working on using the stroke tool and your attributes window and also the swatches. Now I'm going to show you a couple of different coloured swatches here. First of all, we've got the neon pink and the neon yellow, but we've also got two of the new colours. This is for the new neon colour guides that we've developed that are coming out soon, or maybe even in the markets now. And these have been created using percentages of the neon yellow and CMYK, or percentages of the neon pink and CMYK. It's a new colour system. So we'll demonstrate how to do each one of those. And it's very simple. We're just going to go to this first object here, this pink one, and we're going to add a frame around it, a stroke. So 0.3mm for a particular digital press that I'm working with. Obviously put in your own trapping widths as you want. I'm going to put the stroke to the outside, and now I'm going to set the stroke to overprint. Okay, so that's it, nice and simple. Now let's just have a look at our separation preview and see what's going on here. So on our separation preview, if I now zoom in to this area, let's turn off the black, and you'll see how that pink has spread out underneath that black. So it's basically gripping underneath the black, and that's all we need it to do. Very, very simple. So we do the same thing on the other separation or the other images. So on this one I'm doing 0.3mm. I'm going to put to the outside, I will print. And obviously depending on how much complex your design is will depend on how much trapping you want to do, which is why sometimes the default settings that are already in there actually work to your better advantage because it's a lot faster. So again, this one's to 0.3, and put to the outside, and we're going to open that stroke. So in each instance we're using the same colour. So here, if we look at this design here, this number T7P2-297, that tells you what the neon pink and CMYK percentages are. So when we're framing on the outside as well, we're also seeing that happen as well. So it's framing out the colour in the background. Let's just zoom in a bit more so you can really see that taking effect. So without having to specify multiple things. So that's trapping objects. Now how do we trap text? Because text, you cannot put a frame on the outside, a stroke on the outside. So here what we're going to do is we're going to go to the type menu. We're going to create outlines of the text that we want to trap. And again, we're going to put 0.3mm on that one, send it to the outside and set that to overprint. And there we have it, our Prepress trapped design. Really simple, very easy. Now when I go to output, I will have my CMYK and my neon spot colours. And that's it. That's all there is to doing pre-press trapping in InDesign. But as we state, we do recommend that normally you would do trapping using a high-end RIP solution. Most high-end RIPs have a trapping editor on there, which will do this automatically for you. But if you don't, then this is a little handy tip. And it's really only needed for when you're working on digital engines that only have 5 ink units. That would be CMYK plus 1 spot colour. But because it's a 6 colour design with CMYK and 2 neons, you would have to put the job through the press twice. And that's when you can get a little bit of misregistration creeping in on the outside edges. And that's what this trapping is for. So you could almost say, well, let's put the yellow down last and only frame the yellow objects, because on a digital press you're going to get perfect trapping anyway as you first pass through the press. So it's really just to take into consideration what you might need to do to get the best out of your design. If you have any more questions or concerns about how the Touch 7 products work, please contact us at support@touch7.co.